The virtual Mind Walks program is underwritten by the Thomas E. and Mary Kathryn Eltzroth Fund and supported by the Central Coast State Parks Association. If you would like to help support the virtual Mind Walk program or any other state parks educational program, please check out the link on the screen, centralcoastparks.org/friend, where you can make a donation to the Central Coast State Parks Association. If you donate $35 or more to become a friend of CSPA, you'll receive perks such as store discounts and newsletter subscriptions. There are several different programs you can choose to support, and it makes a huge impact. So I encourage you to log on to the website and take a look. And thank you so much to those that are already friends of the Central Coast State Parks Association. So today we have with us Shayla Zink, and she's the operations coordinator for the Marine Mammal Center's Morro Bay Field Office. Her presentation is titled Marine Mammals in the State Parks. A little bit about Shayla. Shayla's been working and volunteering with the Marine Mammal Center in various roles for 5 years. She is a California native and lifelong marine mammal enthusiast. As operations coordinator, Shayla helps oversee the day-to-day workings of the center's Morro Bay location. She ensures volunteer crews are well staffed, steps in to help when needed, keeps the facility up to date and organized, and oversees the center's community engagement volunteer program in San Luis Obispo County. And if you have questions throughout Shayla's presentation, feel free as always to add them to the chat or the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end of her talk. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. And Shayla, take it away.
Hey everyone, let me get my screen share going. So I'm Shayla. I am the operations coordinator at the Marine Mammal Center's Morro Bay Field Office, and I'm so excited to talk to you all today. So the Marine Mammal Center is a global leader in marine mammal health, science, and conservation. It's the world's largest marine mammal hospital, and our mission is to advance global ocean conservation through marine mammal rescue, rehabilitation, research, release, and education. We're a nonprofit that was established in 1975 with around 100 staff members and close to 1,400 volunteers. On the left is our headquarters in Sausalito, but we rescue sick and injured marine mammals along 600 miles of California coast, from Mendocino through San Luis Obispo County. And we even have a hospital located in Hawaii that works with the endangered Hawaiian monk seal. On the right is our San Luis Obispo site in Morro Bay, which is where I work out of. Our local site allows us to dispatch our rescue teams for faster responses and stabilize patients before we transport them to our headquarters, where they're cared for by our veterinarians and eventually released healthy and happy back into the wild. As for kind of our process, every rescue starts with a phone call to our 24-hour hotline. We then send our trained volunteers to respond, assess, and usually rescue an animal. Patients are brought to our hospital where we can do anything a human hospital can provide, but for marine mammals. So in the top right, you'll see one of our veterinarians doing an ultrasound for a sea otter. Our research helps us understand why and how animals get sick or injured, and how we can innovate marine mammal medicine and advance global ocean conservation. Of course, our ultimate goal is release, and you can see the little harbor seals making their way back to the ocean on the bottom right of the slide. So our website is a great place for learning resources, checking up on current patients, research papers, anything you want to know about the Marine Mammal Center. But it's there. And so This is a graph of patient admits from 1975 to 2020. Um, and you can definitely see that there's a trend. Um, our numbers are increasing. As for why, there could be that there are just more animals out there, and that our rescue operation is effective. But we also unfortunately know that these animals are facing threats from climate change, overfishing, and ocean trash. Um, Pictured here are some of our most common patients who you may have seen around. We have the California sea lion, northern elephant seal, harbor seal, and fur seals. And then we also respond to sea otters, whales, sea turtles, and dolphins. Uh, this map shows the state parks of San Luis Obispo County and the rescue locations for the 4 rescued animals I'll be talking about today. We'll travel 80 miles of slow coast from Oceano Dunes for a northern fur seal and a California sea lion, up to Estero Bluffs for a harbor seal, and then to Piedras Blancas for an elephant seal. First up, we have little Dracula, who was a northern fur seal rescued from Oceano Dunes State Vehicular Recreation Area. He was actually rescued by state park staff who are trained by the Marine Mammal Center to safely perform rescues. He was treated for malnutrition and maternal separation, and so northern fur seals and other marine mammals are kind of sentinels of the sea. The information we collect from them can provide us with valuable insights to the health of our oceans. Um, Fur seals, you may not be as familiar with them. They are an offshore or a pelagic species that spend most of their time in the open ocean or in remote island breeding colonies. So if we see them on mainland beaches, it's usually an indicator that something is wrong. Um, but luckily, Dracula was successfully rehabilitated at the center. Like a human hospital, we provide a healthy environment for our patients to rest and eat, get plenty of food, um, to get back up to a healthy weight, and then we can provide any medical treatment he would need. In this case, once we got him up to a better weight than when he came in, he was released after 6 weeks of care and gained 11 pounds. And here you can see Dracula on his release day. Because Oceano Dunes is a drive-on beach, animals who haul out there are at a greater risk. But each year we train with state park staff in safe rescue techniques and work with them to get animals off the beach safely and efficiently. We are so thankful to our state parks partners who perform these rescues in Oceano Dunes and are able to get those animals off the beach to safety faster than if we were responding directly. And pictured here is this year's cohort of staff training on rescue techniques with one of our volunteers, Gary, who's been with the Marine Mammal Center for 25 years. So he's a bit of a rescue expert. But Dracula's successful recovery and the successful recovery of many other animals could not have happened without help from our state parks partners who rescued him and from people who give us a call. So if you see a marine mammal hauled out in Oceano Dunes, you can call us at 415-289-SEAL. And then also you can alert a ranger who might be able to help before we can arrive. That's Dracula. Another animal that came from Oceano Dunes is Endora, who was an adult female California sea lion who was treated for domoic acid toxicosis. Now, domoic acid is a toxin produced by a diatom or an algae that builds up in the food chain, and it can cause seizures and dizziness, even brain damage. Um, this was first documented in marine mammals by the Marine Mammal Center in 1998. Um, Due to changing ocean conditions and warmer, more acidic water, there has been an increase in algae blooms that produce domoic acid. With warming ocean conditions, sea surface temperatures that foster harmful algal blooms happen more frequently. So this map on the bottom right shows the domoic acid concentrations along California coast, and you may have heard of amnesiac shellfishing in humans, and this is the same toxin as that. And so our work with marine mammals and studying DA in them can help us with human health as well. Um, we'll check out this little video to further illustrate domoic acid's effect on sea lions and how you can help.
Like cows eat grass, fish eat plankton. Sometimes plankton produces something called domoic acid. It is toxic in large amounts. When fish eat the toxic plankton, they become poisoned by the domoic acid. Sea lions eat upwards of 100 fish a day.
Whoa, I can't even eat that many pizza rolls.
When sea lions eat a lot of fish poisoned by domoic acid, it causes them to get really sick. The domoic acid will attack the sea lion's heart, weakening the heartbeat. It will also attack the brain. In serious cases, the domoic acid even causes part of a sea lion's brain to shrink. This causes the sea lion to act dizzy and disoriented.
Smile.
No! It's important you call the Marine Mammal Center.
Hello, the Marine Mammal Center.
Yes, we found a sick sea lion on the beach.
Okay, a rescue team is being dispatched. Keep
Wild animals, they can bite.
Huh?
Sorry, the mute on this is weird. But I love that video. I think it's the cutest and a really fun animation. But thankfully, Endora and many other sea lions are in the care of the Marine Mammal Center. She was successfully treated for that toxin and released back into the wild after a few weeks of care. And we will now kind of move up the coast to Estero Bluffs and talk about a harbor seal who was found along the Estero Bluffs. So Lizzie Beth was a harbor seal who was found abandoned, and she was rescued by our volunteers after monitoring for 2 days and then transported to our hospital for expert care. Some harbor seals are special. When a harbor seal is born, its mom still needs to eat while nursing the pups. So moms will leave their pups on the shore while they go out and forage for a few hours. This can make it appear that the pup has been abandoned when it has not. If mom returns and sees that there are people or dogs around, she may decide to leave and not come back for the pup. It is very important that these pups are left alone, and if they appear abandoned, we monitor them from afar for a few hours to days to see if a mother is coming back for them. We actually watched Lizzie Beth for a span of 2 days before rescuing to be sure that mom was not coming back, as reuniting with their mother is the best thing for these pups. But we posted signs like this one to help keep people away, but it was clear in the end that mom was not coming back. Thankfully, Lizzie Beth did great in care. She gained 43 pounds and learned to eat whole fish like a champ. And she was released after 2.5 months of care. And you can see her on release day looking really happy and fat there. But if you see a harbor seal pup alone, do not intervene. Call our 24-hour hotline and we will send out trained responders to assess the animal. Make space for marine mammals, so at least 50 feet. Marine mammals are wild animals and can act unpredictably if they're sick or scared, and a safe viewing experience starts with keeping your distance and leashing your pets. Whether on the water, viewing marine life in a kayak, or seal pups on local beaches, a great wildlife experience starts with keeping your distance. Another seal to make space for this time of year is the northern elephant seal. We see these seals popping up just about every beach in SLO County this time of year. Elephant seals have a very unique lifestyle where they spend many months at sea eating and return to land for short periods of time to rest, molt, or breed. We expect to see elephant seals in the late winter or spring when they are pups and have been separated from mom too quickly. So here are some pups. A pup with mom, and after just 1 week, 1 month nursing with mom, a healthy pup is expected to go from 75 pounds at birth to 300 pounds. And then mom leaves and they're on their own to figure out how to hunt and eat and how to be an elephant seal in general. But some don't figure it out as well as others. And so here you can see on the left what a healthy 1 or 2 month old elephant seal looks like compared to an underweight pup that we might rescue. When these pups are separated too quickly or are struggling a lot, we can bring them into our hospital where they will be taught how to hunt and eat by our volunteers. And we call this process fish school, which we'll have a really fun video on that right now. So the story that I'm going to be telling you today is much different than these typical pups. We're actually going to be talking about Netta, who was an entangled elephant seal that was reported to us last November, and she was found entangled in 6.5 pounds of fishing net. She was reported during the fall in a time where juvenile elephant seals haul out to rest for just short periods of time before returning to the ocean to resume feeding. But we received this report from student researchers at Cal Poly and went straight to work on a plan to rescue her. But we had no way of knowing how long this entangled elephant seal would be hauled out on the beach, so we needed to act quickly. We made a plan to respond and rescue her the day after she was reported. And when we arrived in the morning, we met up with a group of state parks rangers to help us out. Because Netta was surrounded by other resting seals, we had to be really careful to keep ourselves safe from them, as well as limit how many other seals we disturbed. But we did successfully secure Netta in a metal carrier and lift the close to 500 pounds of elephant seal and carrier into our truck for transport back to our site in Morro Bay. There, we were able to carefully cut the netting off, and her reaction to being freed is something I will never forget. It was just so sweet. So we saved that net material and sent it to our research team so they could analyze the type of net and look into trends for the future. Once it was determined by our veterinarians that Netta had no significant wounds, she was deemed fit to be released back to the beach, actually where she had been rescued. So 3 days after rescue, on a foggy Thursday morning, we released Netta back to the beach. Here's a little clip of that. So you may have been able to see she had a bit of like fur matting around her neck where the net had been the tightest, but there was no embedded netting and no significant, really long-lasting wounds there. So that was really, really great. But if you are out on the beaches and you see an entangled or a distressed marine mammal, there are a few key steps you can take. First is to keep your distance at least 50 feet. Locate where you are. So a good GPS location, like a maps pin or a screenshot, is essential to our responders locating the animals when they go out to respond to a call. Observe the animal's behavior, its body condition. Is it skinny? Its size, how long it is, if it looks like an adult or a pup, and then any injuries. Also take note if you see a tag or other markings, and then give us a call at our hotline with all this information, 415-289-SEAL. And that's how it all begins, and also where I'll end. Thank you so much, and I will open it up to questions. Stop sharing. Okay, so I see Doreen has a question. Can you tell about if and how we monitor animals after they are released? So every animal that gets released has a orange flipper tag On elephant seals and harbor seals, that's placed on their rear flippers. On California sea lions and fur seals, it's in their little armpits. So that is a way we can re-site those animals after they are released. For certain special species or special cases, we may satellite tag them. It's pretty rare because those tags are expensive, but in that case we would be able to track where the animal went after release and even some information on like its diving and things like that. How do the animals get transferred to the hospital? Yes, so our hospital up in Sausalito in the Marin Headlands is many hours away. And so we do have special vans that have an enclosed back space that are entirely waterproof, and they have their own climate control. So we have them with AC back there so they don't get too hot on the long trip through up 101. And they usually make a stop overnight at our location in Monterey.
Looks like we had a couple questions come into the chat.
Those two. How do seals we release into the ocean find other seals of their species? So I don't have a solid answer on that. I know that in some of like the satellite tag data we've released California sea lions up in like Point Reyes. And seen them go straight out to the Farallon Islands where there's lots and lots of sea lions out there. So they know somehow where to go. And we often see elephant seals coming back to the same rookery year after year, or even traveling from like Piedras Blancas to Año Nuevo between the two rookeries. So I don't know how, but I know that they do. Are you still seeing sea otters that are killed by bacteria from feces from raccoons and cats? Yes, so we do see that. Oh gosh, what is the disease? Sorry, the disease is not coming to me right now. But yes, we do see that along with a bunch of other diseases that the sea otters get. Unfortunately, but yeah, sea otters can be really affected by things in the runoff that are entering the water from the land. Is the Morro Bay Marine Mammal Center being relocated, and where to? We are not currently, we don't have to move right now with the whole construction on the power plant and stuff. So right now we're hanging tight and we don't have to move. Yes, so why do we treat turtles, and what other non-marine mammals would we care for? Rich encountered an injured gull and was directed to call Pacific Wildlife Care. So sea turtles are the only non-marine mammal that we rescue. And that's just kind of that we have the ability to give them some specialized care. But yes, we marine mammals, seals and sea lions, dolphins and whales, and then the occasional sea turtles. When we see sea turtles, they're usually cold stunned, so they've got trapped in a cold water current and they wash up on our beach. Super cold. They may appear dead, but they have just their heartbeat's gone down to like a beat per minute. So we respond to those. Can local residents visit the rescue center? So our small triage hospital here in Morro Bay is not open to the public. However, our main hospital is about to reopen to the public. after being closed for 2 years from the pandemic and some construction, we're going to be opening up in June to the public again. Did I miss any questions?
I think you got them all.
Cool.
Well, gosh, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to present to us, Shayla. This was
Of
wonderful.
course. Yeah, and so sorry I lost you there for a bit.
That's okay. We made it back.
We made it. We made it
Yeah.
through.
And thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
all for being
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to always see such a neat turnout here. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, have a fantastic weekend.
Enjoy your weekend and thank you.